welcome back to... Well, they still don't have a name. I'm leaning on Red Tide, but that's such a cliche. This is turn... 7? I want to say 7. Of the Christmas turn-by-turn against Rice. It's also now the third time I've dipped into this turn. The first time, I'd forgotten to delete a load of copious amounts of video for other video projects, like tin cans, things like that, which had like 36 gigabytes of video. So I actually ran out of memory. Bandicam, which I'm using to record, bless it, didn't tell me. I mean, I guess the recording icon up in the top left changed from red to green to show that something was wrong, but I don't ever look at that, so awesome. So that was about 40 minutes of the first original reaction playthrough of this turn, which has disappeared forever. So, but I got the turn off, sent it off to Rice, and then did a quick recap video going over it all, and then went to bed. And then after I went to bed, Rice DMs me on Discord, which is how we're communicating, and tells me that my file I sent didn't work. And looking at it this morning, that's because it's only 1 kilobyte big, and it should be about 20 megabyte. So obviously something's gone wrong somewhere, and I have to redo the whole thing. But, you know, there's always problems whenever we do the turn-by-turn. At least this is a technical problem, and I'm not getting my ass kicked too badly so far. It's going to look a little different at the end of this turn. But, yeah, these are the motor rifle troops inside Schweben. And yeah, where we left last turn, we're consolidating our position in the village, shooting up this wood here where we spotted a dragon team. This took out heater on max setting in the last turn and is now reloading. We've also got my eyes on whatever's going on up here. So Rice is shooting up some of these buildings here. Because he knows I have infantry in them. And we also have that tank contact over there, which is unresolved as of yet, and the smoke is cleared up here, so we might get some problems from this wood. But what we're going to do is get the camera into position and press the play button so we get the overview. Obviously I know what's going to happen, but you guys don't, so that's a T-62 down there. And another one. So those are dragons coming out of this wood here. Skydog there is getting shot. We'll go zoom in on all this soon. And a T-62 going down here. That is Jakob. That's to a tow missile from the wood. So, yay. We have Nick Riggs in a second is gonna, unless it's already happened, has blasted a javelin tow operator over here, and bottom left of the screen here, these guys have popped up. Yeah, and then we got that solid spot on that tow vehicle there. That M113 is doing weird shit. Let's just get into it. So what's squaring off against infantry with AT weapons in woods? I went to the wrong tank. This is Joe Callan, about to have a bad day. Yeah. Straight in the front. No fun there. We are getting some shots off on the wood, but a lot of these are actually... Oh, perfect timing. So yeah, this one is heading in for Top Hat's T-62 here. And it's a dragon missile, so we can tell it's a dragon because the dragon has a weird stabilization guidance system. You can see all these little things on the side of the missile. These are like the little propeller jets, and they kind of pop off at random intervals to turn it, spin it, keep it on target. Makes a very distinctive noise, like popcorn popping, apparently, which isn't really modelled. But yeah, it's going to go straight into the front of Top Hat's T62, straight in through the centre. The driver's dead, but the turret crew are okay. They've managed to get out. Not the case so much for Joe Callan, unfortunately, who has perished, but some of his crew have made it out. And yeah, the downside is this suppressive fire that I wanted to put out from the T-62s is not that accurate. I mean, they are firing at quite a distance, and because of the slope, it's not necessarily that easy to get good hits on. So yeah, so we've had at least we had one missile at the end of the last turn. Oh yeah, we'll deal with that in a minute. That took out heater on max setting. It was here, and then on the next turn we've had 2 more come out. So that means there's at least 3 infantry teams with dragons in this wood here. And we did see one M113 over here. I don't know whether that's actually got there in time, so we could be looking at another rifle platoon in M113s occupying this wood here. Just by counting how many times they're blowing stuff up. So yeah, but it just goes to show that these units down here were far too exposed without the smoke. I probably should have moved them, but such is life, or otherwise. Back to first company, we have Jakob there, and you kind of see that we've kind of got an indication that, so he's noticed something and he's turned on target. That's the TAC AI saying, hey look, thick frontal armour, let's put that to the front. Not going to help against something like a tow. There we go, there's the missile, and you can see how difficult a shot this actually is. Like, that's very low. We'll have a look in a minute when the tow vehicle pops up. Oh, it's actually fine, but it's quite a difficult target. It's very hull down, that T-62, but that doesn't matter. Also, obviously the missile is different. We can tell this is a tow missile because it's got the fins halfway up as well as at the back. None of those weird little popcorn makers. And that goes straight in to the ammo storage there. Jakob has actually managed to get out. He's bailed pretty quickly, or been blown out of the turret, whichever way you want to look at it, but the rest of the crew is out of the picture. So what was potentially responsible is this here, this M901, or another one like it. But get into the launcher and look at... that was a very small target, and it's not going to hit any of the other ones where they are at the moment, unless I move them. But yeah, like I say, you can really see how that was a tough shot, so, you know, well done to Rice's pixel tripping. Also worth mentioning that it could have done this while the smoke barrage was coming in, because the tow launchers on these have, you can kind of see it here, they've got the thermal optics, so they can see through the smoke. And it's the I-tow, so it can also fire through the smoke. The original tow doesn't, if I remember correctly, and I might not, it can see through smoke but can't fire through smoke because it doesn't have an infrared tracker on the back of the missile. So it can fire the missile, but it can't guide it once it's through the smoke. The operator can see use a thermal imager to see through the obscuration, through the smoke, but he can't guide the missile past it, if that makes any sense. On the flip side, this tow vehicle has 2 tows in the pipe, because you can see them there, one there and one there. And I've only noticed 1 missile going out. So there may well be another tow vehicle here. And something else that I've just noticed. So we got this explosion down here. It's going to pop up around. Yep, there we go. Now I thought that that was like a spotting round for artillery. But when we think about it, I'm going the wrong way. What if it's aimed at one of these tanks? So what if they're going after Mecha Maestro? Probably... He's probably in defilade. Maybe one of the BMPs? Yeah, so we could have another M901 up here. Aiming at here, and then, because it's quite a difficult shot, if we get over there, we could have a tow, you know, losing control or flying into... the ground there. So if I can... Yeah, so that's another potential. Might also be a spotting round. I might be right on the first count, but didn't see anything come down. We just see an explosion. Moving on into Schweben itself. Skydog here is pushing forward. So I've wanted to push him forward into one of these buildings up here, so I can get a better idea of what's going on here. But Rice's infantry is pushed up, and they're now set up in this building here. We can see one of them. He's an assistant MG gunner. With the, of course, the 760 belt draped over him. That way it gets clogged up with mud when he rolls around in the dirt, and then he gets a stoppage. Not the best idea ever. But yeah, there's Skydog going down, but at least his buddy has salvaged the PK, and he manages to get away with it. Just that little keyhole there. I don't think even Rice was expecting that to work. But yeah, he's forward. And also on this flank, Kappa has moved across from this building to this building. So we can get some eyes on this area here and see off in this direction. And they're the ones who actually spot that tow vehicle over there. And yeah, might have another one there. Unless that's just an M113, but where was my... Yeah, that wouldn't make much sense for that to be the tow missile then, if this is the location of that. But yeah, too much analysis. Back to it. The most interesting thing that happened over here was actually, so we have Clockwork Rex moving up here, and he suddenly keyholes an M60 here, so we can turn the tree off. You can see this M60. This is the M60 that's shooting up the buildings here, so he's shot the crap out the top of Winter's building. Winter's still in there. Those are the traces from the small arms fire getting Skydog. Now he's moved on to this building, which gets funny in a second. But yeah, a totally unexpected random keyhole. A BMP can totally take an M60 from the front, especially if it uses the AT5. So it could be worth, and it's a very difficult kind of counter shot if we... like that BMP is quite difficult to see there. So we need do something about that on the next turn. And we're also getting more signs of enemy activity down here. There's a... This looks a lot like an M113 having a bit of a rain breakdown. But sadly I don't have anything with an RPG in position to take it. We've got the... again, if I could hand out those RPG-18s, the one-shot disposables, to the machine gun platoon, this would be going a lot differently. But yeah, as such, at the moment, it's just kind of round here. That's about it. Peter's got into position in this building here. We now have a bit of an OP here, and we can see over here a hull down M60. So this is obviously where those tanks on this flank ended up. And they are obviously hull down, covering the plateau over here. What Rice might do with them, I don't know. What I can do about it, also not sure. But they are, from this position at least, not capable of interacting with the fight down in Schweben. Or for that matter, anywhere else on the map. So they've got a good field of fire to the front, and if I come up on this kind of plateau of fields here, I'm going to come into contact with them. Like if we say if Zeriander was a little bit further this way, goes up onto this ridge a bit, we can engage it, because we'd be massively exposed to all this stuff out here. But yeah, that's where they've ended up. I'm happy with them being there. If Rice decides to... I mean, he's got a couple of options. He could try and run this way and bring them up through the woods here onto the flank of my stuff here, but that's also pretty risky for him, because he doesn't know what I've got in here, which is nothing yet, but I can change that pretty damn fast. You know, I've got Muzp's T62 platoon can probably get down here without too much hassle, and even though it's only a platoon, in a good defensive position down here, reverse slope, plenty of cover, stationary while the enemy is advancing, should be okay. So that's the turn. Did we get any cluster artillery this time? Yes, we did. Woo! Never gets old. So yeah, that's getting hammered. So yeah, first major kind of casualty event, 3 T62s down. 10% of my tanks. So I've got 31. But yeah, so that's what happened in the turn. Oh yeah, the one I forgot. We have Nick Riggs here, who spots and engages a dragon team. This may be... oh no, I was gonna... it's not, that was the tow vehicle, wasn't it? Yeah, it's a long shot. This is like 1800 meters, but he spotted him. We fire, and boom, tree burst directly on top of him. Woods can be dangerous to hide in. And yeah, down he goes. You can see that coming in. So yeah, at least one dragon down, and this one here is reloaded, the original. I think we lose sight of him. So I don't know if he's one of the ones who gets a shot off. We might just have two. But I think 3 is more apt. And yeah, just at the end, he gets a near miss, briefly cowers. He gets a near miss because he was actually spotted by Mecha Maestro. But he is actually from there, and you can see he's popped back up just at the end of the turn. He's got over his that immediate suppression. He's popped up, assumed the creepy dragon firing stance, and is aiming at John Goshevich, who is in the town. Far too zoomed out there. Where are we? Yep. Who also spots him. Or thinks he's been aimed at. Just at the end of the turn there, so we have to do something with John there, otherwise he's going to get dragoned. The other thing that happened right at the end is we can see that Rice has switched to hitting up this building. I glossed it. I did this quickly earlier. You can see that there's 50 cal fire and the occasional 105 round, but also we got a hit on the upper right hull up there. So that is actually a 50 caliber round coming from this M60 up here, or from around here somewhere, zipping all the way through here, going through this building, through this wood, and plinking off the hull of this T-62. That's the only thing I can think it is. And that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that is the roundup of what actually happened in the turn. What are we going to do? So, some of the obvious stuff, the low-hanging fruit, let's reverse Clockwork Rex a little bit. See if he can't re-establish the spot and maybe engage that M60 through the gap there. The tricky part is actually trying to find out where, remember exactly where he spotted it and where he could draw line of sight to. Yeah, that's probably it. So we get him to orient to there, open up, so we can use the AT5, and we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, in the town, yeah, the grenade launcher teams are just about getting into position. I really want them to hammer up this wood. I don't like those dragon teams in there. These guys, this second team, Baklanov, the one that we couldn't name, is gonna have to come out this way. I did do a quick check, and you can't actually engage the wood properly from over there. So yeah, that's not great, and they just need to set up. It only takes them a couple of seconds. Where are we? 20 seconds to set up. So these teams should be in action pretty soon. In fact, let's bring James Ford into action faster and try and set up here instead of messing around too much with the orders, because we can still see. That's good. It's not going to be very accurate, but that's okay. Let's spread Muzz-P's platoon out here a little bit, just in case that is enemy artillery. John, you need to reverse this way a little bit. The problem is the BMPs take a long time to turn. But we'll try and put some fire out. Regardless, get some of the MGs going. They're deploying. It takes 2 minutes. 2 and a bit minutes to deploy an MG inside a building, which is kind of annoying. But let's see if we can't get some fire on them as well from there. It's kind of okay where it is, and I want it just in case we do have any artillery heading our way. Just want to spread out some of these motor rifle squads a bit. These guys are kind of okay. You can also see up from here, these guys can see this other farm complex, which could be a position for Rice to hold. It's like quite an obvious, I'm on this flank and I can see stuff from here. Nice little reverse slope. Just to pin down this flank. I would probably want to have something there, at least some scouts. I want these guys to keep spotting, so we're just going to put them on a 100-meter target arc. Yeah, Alev. How do you pronounce that? Needs to get up in the top story of there. Sky Dogs, number 2. Let's gain a bit of altitude with these so we can cover that intersection there a little better. That should be okay there. And so the big decision that I went with the first time was, what do I do about this wood? Because this is separating my forces here, the AT teams in there. I'm relatively confident, and kind of snap reconnaissance, that it's just a rifle platoon in there with dragons. I am also somewhat confident that this area here, the ground in front of it, is not, at least currently, heavily swept by enemy forces. So we can kind of see that there's a lot of trees messing with the line of sight, and there's also like you can see the tow vehicle there, potential other tow vehicle here. You know, they don't think they can interfere because all these woods are in the way. Even if they do, getting a missile through, it's likely that the wires would snag on branches and it would lose control, or it would hit a tree, stuff like that. They can probably see through the trees better than I expect because, you know, it's January and there's no leaves, especially with the thermals, but I don't think they can actively interfere that much. And over here, I do know that Rice has at least a few tanks here. I think at least 2. But I also don't think that they can really see down there very well because of the, you know, just the layout of the terrain. There's a bit of a depression down here, which I may be able to exploit to get forward. So the plan was, can I punch C Company across this open ground? It's like, what, 500 meters max. Punch them across here, overrun this wood, destroy this rifle platoon, and then I have a position here where I can start covering off. You know, I've secured the flank of Schweben here. I've punished Rice for getting too far forward. The tanks wouldn't be excessively exposed here. They can really cut off the back of Schweben. I'm doing something to the enemy instead of just passively getting myself dragoned. I don't think he can interfere with it that much. The problem is, it's also risky as hell. That's a third of my tank strength right there. And if I've miscalculated the line of sight here, or I take too long and give Rice time to react, and he, for example, brings up some tanks up here, you know, a single M60 could devastate them as they're going across this ground here, if I've got it wrong. So, you know, it's a roll of the dice. I really want to keep attacking because, well, why wouldn't I want to keep attacking? I'm already, you know, well into Rice's part of the map, half of the map if we divide it equally. And I want to put the pressure on him. So the kind of, I think the Soviet thing to do is to punch forward with this company and take them out as a less favourable alternative to bypassing that position entirely, which I don't think I can do. So I can't really go around this way because there's not enough space. I'm exposed to the town. I'm exposed to Rice's stuff back here. He only needs to come forward a little bit with these to hit that in the flank. I don't think that's really a going option. This company also can't really come... We can go back, but moving up out on the right flank is exposed to all of this. All of this stuff here, and the dragons in the woods. And potentially if Rice has anything else over here, which I probably would. As I said before, a tow vehicle here, and you can, you know, crossfire the top of that plateau in conjunction with those M60s on the other flank. Assuming he's not just pottering down here and he's going to hook in and pop up on my flank somewhere, because I can't really see what's going on here very well. First company can sort of see it, but, you know, it's like 1,800 meters to 2,000 meters away. That's a long way to try and see stuff. So, yeah. The flip side is, can I stay where I am? So if I was playing this as the Americans, I would almost certainly say, well, I'm in a wood, I'm where I want to be, the pressure is on Rice to take the ground objectives and try and kick me out. This is a pretty stable position here. Why don't I stay where I am and give him the opportunity to mess things up? That's the way I think I would do it if I was playing as the Americans. So, yeah. The flip side is that this is a... we're having fun here. And I think this is a really good opportunity to try and test out this... You know, all this Soviet doctrine stuff that we've done with, like, Between Two Farbands and the doctrinal scenarios by Miller. Let's try it out and see if it works. That's what I decided to do originally, and I think, you know what, let's do that again. So we're going to really try and shoot the crap out of this wood, really try and get that suppression going. We've got the grenade launchers already. Let's get Megalon Jones. Nick Riggs can continue his streak of, hopefully, continue his streak of killing javelin gunners. The Dapper Mudkip. These guys are more focused on the rear area. Like I say, these tanks are actually pretty well concealed from that M901 up here, so I'm going to get Adler 67, 68. In fact, let's adjust Mr. Riggs and Megalon Jones to target the left side a bit more, so we get a bit of crossfire going on. You need to, Colm Fox, you need to not reverse. Just because you got dinged by a single 50. Come on. Mecha Maestro definitely needs to put a couple more rounds in there. We've got the grenade launchers, they're coming online. G's coming online. That's a bit far for the small arms, even the SVD. Let's pull Axel Palman's platoon out. So let's push these guys forward first into a firing line. So here goes Noah Weston. And Sergeant Spook. That's like 400 meters off. And we'll see what they can see from there. So I'm also trying to maintain a line, but also keep the terrain on my side here. You know, part of me wants to really rush up and just do it. Like, you know, really just bum rush that and say, hello, here's some tanks. But I'm not sure that's going to end well. Got Volcacious and Hurricane Taco. I think you guys need to go a bit further, don't you, so we can take advantage of that wood there. Because it's really the flanking fire I'm worried about. Let's bring you guys a little further forward. Let's make that a fast command so we get in there a little faster. Once we get there, let's try and get a little suppressive fire into that wood. From you guys at least. And let's get Colonel McDaff following up somewhat. And then it's this, I want to bring this rifle platoon with them. So that they're out of view of any potential M901s, so you can see them there. But also because, you know, it's a wood, and infantry is good to have in the woods. Somewhat. I see. Also, if I was an American player and there was a load of Soviet ATGMs in this wood, I would want to have a TRP on it, and I would want to arty the snot out of it. I can't do that though, because Soviet artillery is comparatively. You know, we've got this push system where the commander decides in advance what he wants to do, and we kind of push the artillery onto that, instead of, you know, the forward observers and the individual platoon company commanders saying, ringing up and pulling artillery onto the targets they want to get hit. But yeah, that looks good. I mean, it still really feels really risky. I don't think there's much I can do about that. Like I say, I think this is probably actually going to be pretty safe. If anything, the problem is going to be me taking too long to do it. Because it's going to take 2 minutes. That should give Rice time to react. But if nothing else, we should, you know, we'll find out if it works, you know. So yeah, let's see how that goes. What was the timer on? So 30 minutes of 152s left. And then, yeah, that whole back end, including this building here, which we know he's got Americans in, 6 minutes, and that's just going to get flattened. Like 162 122 rounds landing on this line. Yeah, not good. The Commissar will probably take me out back and shoot me, because we probably want to keep this road network up and running to expedite the advance, and it's going to get covered in rubble, but there's other roads here, isn't there? So right, let's hope this one works, and we'll see how badly that decision goes.